Good day, everyone. Today's the 25th of July, and I have one of my closer friends on today. Been trying to get this gentleman on for a while. I'm really happy he was able to make some time. Got at OpentheJKFfiles. Y'all need to go and make sure you follow him on X. Please do. He is really digging deep on a couple of these kind of buried operations that have happened in America pertaining to a little country that we have seemed to be drawn into doing everything for at our behest and our tax dollars, and more. So make sure to give him a follow. Also, it would be real helpful if y'all could subscribe to the channel, like, share, comment. Would really appreciate that. You could also follow me at MNFBY. See, I always mess this up, dude. At MNBFY pod. I'll never get it right, bro. I'll never get it right. But yeah, if y'all could follow me on X, I'd appreciate that. And let's just get into it, man. So, buddy, we've been, you go by Republicus actually on X, and we all kind of got together with a mutual of ours, Wayne Waldrop. All very libertarian-minded, right-leaning libertarian-minded people. It kind of started for us all where we all met each other during after Elon put out that text calling out Trump for being in the Epstein files, and then the 12-day war. And at that point, I started obviously we got to know each other, but the content you were putting out, the research you were doing. And so maybe we start at the beginning, obviously, your handles open the JFK files. Maybe we can start there. Do you want to start talking around the assassination and the events that transpired and the parties involved in that?
Yeah, dude. The whole reason I got into JFK was my whole life living in the South. You're kind of told that Democrats are bad and they're socialists and this, that, and the third. Well, I started looking into old Democrats and the ones that used to stand for something, and JFK was one of those guys. And then in history class, they go over a few assassinations on presidents, and in school, I always like to grill my history teachers because I was a history buff. Well, I started asking this one history teacher in school about the JFK assassination, and it kind of just it started something in me that I couldn't put away. He kind of wanted to tell the class what he really thought about what happened that day, but he kind of couldn't because he knew he'd lose his job. And I knew then that there's got to be something deeper to it. And then, of course, after that, I started doing my own research. I watched the Zapruder film a half dozen times when I was 16 or 17 with my friends, and we all hunt. And I'm sorry, but if you shoot somebody in the back of the head, like they say Oswald did, it should have blown the front of his head off, not the back of his head off. So I always questioned the single shooter official narrative that the Warren Commission gave. Started digging deeper into that, and after I got through it all, I figured out about this guy James Jesus Angleton and the internal conflicts that JFK was having with the CIA. Everybody knows that JFK always said that he was going to shatter. My dog's going to bark for a second. One second, guys. I live at a farm. All right, he's done now. I think when I started looking into James Jesus Angleton and how JFK was having internal conflicts with the CIA, the Bay of Pigs incident, stuff like that, it really started to make me question Israel, because JFK was famous for his letters to Ben-Gurion about Israel's true and honest purpose with Dimona. And they told JFK and the scientists that went there that Dimona was nothing more than a reactor to build peaceful energy. That's all they were going to do there. It was a regular reactor. Well, they lied. So then you start reading into the lies that Israel was feeding them, and then you read the letter that he sent to Ben-Gurion where he literally said that American support to Israel would be cut off if we couldn't figure out the real facts behind Dimona. So after that, I just started to put the pieces together. You have a guy that's working for the CIA that's a diehard Zionist that's literally going against the president's wishes. And then you have the Warren Commission that, for all intents and purposes, was a sham. I mean, they lied. They lied
100%.
about a lot of things in the Warren Commission. It was basically they admit that it was a conspiracy. Rep Paula Luna, who has me blocked on Twitter, she fucking goes on there all the time now talking about how there's multiple shooters and how there's doctors now that are testifying they are testifying in front of Rep Luna that there were multiple shooters that day. So it kind of vindicated me there. So and then I started digging in deeper, and that's kind of how I got into the Project Pinto. Israel has always been for themselves, just like any nation out there. They want to have all the best toys, and America usually has them. So I don't know. I'm divulging. Maybe you should ask me another question, but I think
You're good. I wanted you to kind of dive into that. I mean, so with and also we're kind of seeing like a correlation, right? Like everyone's worried that, Tyler Robinson in the CK case is about to, unalive himself potentially, right?
yeah.
And like you look at what happened with wasn't it can you talk to us a little bit about Jack Ruby, and how
Jack Ruby, he said even in his deathbed, or not his deathbed, when he was in prison, he told his lawyer that he did it for the Jews. And that's literally his quote. That's what he told his I think it was his attorney. He was and what you gather from that, I don't know why he felt the need to shoot Oswald. And I don't think we're going to get that with the CK case. I think he'll probably just hang himself, to be honest.
No, but I mean in the sense of like the correlation of like we see patsies tend to go, right?
Well, I mean, look at Sirhan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Sirhan's rotting in a prison cell, and you have Robert Kennedy Jr., who said 1,000 times that this man's innocent. In my opinion, I think Sirhan was probably the first MKUltra, or not the first. I think he was the first successful MKUltra assassination.
Yeah. Yeah, totally programmed. Doesn't he say, or didn't he say he had no recollection of what happened, how he got there?
He has zero recollection of the shooting. Thomas Noguchi's autopsy completely vindicates him. He was 5 to 3 feet, depending on eyewitness testimony, in front of Robert Kennedy when he shot his shots. Now, don't get me wrong. Sirhan brought a pistol and shot at Robert Kennedy. Okay. Now, you have to look at the bullet wounds and the entries and all that, but it's the shots that killed Robert Kennedy came from behind, and that was from Thane Cesar. Thane Cesar killed Robert Kennedy, and his son, Robert Kennedy Jr., even parrots that today. That Noguchi's autopsy vindicates Sirhan. He did not kill RFK. You should look into, I think it's based Sam Parker on X. He just did a thing on who led RFK into that back thing where they shot him. It was pretty interesting read.
That's base. Oh, I know that account. Okay.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll check that out for sure. And everyone go check out that write up by Sam Parker. No, not trying to plug him, but I mean if there's supplemental information.
No, he's a good follow. He's a good follow. I like that.
Okay.
Sam Parker.
Cheers, man. Yeah. So, obviously you have all these very suspicious things happening, to powerful people that we elect into government, powerful political activists in America that tend to have some sort of anecdotal correlation to the little country that could. And now it seems like everything's quite in the open, right? Like, the revelations of CK. I think Candace just dropped, and I'm not promoting her. I'm not, I'm indifferent to her,
Same. I mean, hey, I think she says some right things, and I think she says some wrong things. Doesn't everybody? But those texts were damning, weren't they?
Yeah, but you saw the ones from this week?
Oh, it's wild.
Dude,
those
from
texts were
23.
damning. I see why she sat on them this long, and she says she has more.
Dude, that's from 2023. That takes the timeline of what we believe that, A lot of people thought the changes were happening in,
just recently.
In the middle of 25, unfortunately, before, CK, was taken from the world for potentially his change in philosophy and maybe, an awakening of some sort. Like, holy shit, like this is like a lot of these conspiracy theorists that say this stuff. It's kind of legit. I'm in the den right now. It's absolutely nuts. And so with that, my question becomes, where do you think this is going? Like right now, like when we look at what happened with CK, he was able to successfully, in my opinion, and even Tucker Carlson to a large degree, lobbying the president last summer saying, you cannot do this. You need to end this. And Trump did. We hit Fordo. We dropped the mother of all bombs and Moab there. And we said, everything's obliterated. Everything's done. Our objective was to make sure Iran would never possess a nuclear weapon, and we accomplished our mission, right? And then you fast forward to the start of the restarting of the war, February 28th of this year. And you've had people like Joe Kent blowing the whistle. You see the complete change with Tucker being very open about his concerns of our current administration being completely co-opted by Israeli influence. What thoughts do you have on that?
I think it doesn't matter how you vote here soon, unless it's for Thomas Massie or Majority Taylor Greene, because your vote's for Miriam Adelson. Republican or Democrat, they just showed you on this NDAA. It doesn't not matter how you fucking vote. Your tax dollars will go to Israel. I mean, if there's no serious change, if people haven't woken up to this monstrosity that we've allowed to be created, then I don't know what the answer is. I don't know that. I think after this election, if they haven't had some serious change and people haven't woken up, I think the very conversation we're having right now will be outlawed. They will call us anti-Semitic, and I'm not. I love everybody. There's nobody. I don't hate a single soul on this earth. I think a lot of people have a lot of answering to do when they go meet the Lord, but I don't. You know what it says in the Bible? To hate the sin and love the sinner. So I really don't have any quarrels. I think at the end of the day, it's going to be really bad because Republican or Democrat, and the majority of the cattle that vote are going to vote either. They're probably going to swing Democrat this election cycle. And when we get Gavin Newsom as our president, it's not going to be any different than what we just had. It's going to be the blue flavor of Zionism. I hate to say that, but it is. And it doesn't matter which way you vote. You want the red flavor of Zionism or the blue flavor of Zionism.
Yeah, I mean, like, dude, like the blue flavor is Bolshevism, and then the right flavor is Trotskyism. Look at Bill Kristol's father. The neocons, right?
Yep.
I mean, it's literally communism. It's stratified communism. It's like, okay, we are this particular class of elites. We live in a capitalist system, and all the serfs live in a subordinate system to our own. That's the neocon model, and like versus the Bolshevik system is nationalize everything, put everyone in concentration camps, unalive anyone that is a dissident, get rid of all the intellectuals, get rid of all the people that have clout, I don't want to say clout, but that have influence, bury them, it's two sides of the same coin. And
the thing I see happening too is America has to fall if there's going to be a one world government, because the American spirit is undominable. You can't tell you if you tell me you're gonna come take my house from me, we're gonna have a fucking shootout. Like it's, you know what I'm saying?
That's you. Most of the country's not like that anymore, bro. It is not indomitable anymore because generationally they've weakened everything.
Most people in the South are like that, and that's true. We might be a dying breed, but I think the last bastion of Americanism is Appalachia. And I think that's why you have Thomas Massie birthed out of it. That like I said, man, if he doesn't get elected president, we're pretty much fucked. He's America's Hail Mary. If he doesn't seriously run for president, I think we're fucked.
On the Senate vote for cloture for the debating of the NDAA, the only Republican senator that didn't vote no. He didn't vote nay, but was a not vote outside of McConnell, I believe, who's I don't know if he's alive or if whatever is going on with him, right? But the only abstained vote was the Senator Justice out of West Virginia. You know that?
Wow. I mean, I'm not really surprised. That's like I said, you either get red flavor Zionism or blue flavor Zionism. And like, honestly, I think Israel, that's why they're pushing that NDAA right now, is because the boomers are dying off at a high rate. And they know when the boomers are gone, so goes the support for Israel in America. So they're going to try and do everything they can in these last few years to push, basically in law, paper, in writing, can't do nothing about it unless the president vetoes it type shit. We support Israel. Like, that's why Benjamin Netanyahu is developing. Did you know that he was a big proponent in this NDAA? It was his idea.
Didn't he go on basically Fox talking about how he helped scribe it?
It was his idea. So the man, we'll get into this later, but the man who helped steal nuclear triggers from the United States drafted an amendment basically to our Constitution to benefit another country's army. I mean, it's treason, and everyone's signing their names on it.
100%.
It's signing off to treason.
And here's the thing, man. Everyone is focused on, like, Section 219. They thought they would, obfuscate and trick everyone by, it got changed to from 224 to 219, but no one's reading Section 1217. No one's reading IAA 622. Like, they actually like corral everyone into this one, and there's more to it. There's more of this fusion that's going to take place, and it is literally it impedes on the very definition of sovereignty of a nation. You cannot have foreign meddling or foreign influence into a nation, or that is an impediment on the sovereignty of that nation.
Well, I thought we were a capitalist society, brother.
No, I did too.
I'm going to agree with another nation that we're not going to compete for military. So we're going to have sit-down board meetings where we talk about what you're developing versus what I'm developing, so we don't develop the same things. That's not capitalism.
No, we're going to assign a bureaucrat out of the Department of Defense that is going to be working with a representative of a foreign government that's going to have direct act. Which, listen, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm not naive. A lot of this shit is already happening. It's just they're codifying it. They're putting it into law. They're telling you we're coming out into the open with what we've already been. Are we doing this with the French? Are we doing this with UK? Are we doing this with NATO? Are we on this level? If we are, in the comments, please provide, things I can read that, Republicans can read. But to my knowledge, there is nothing codified in law in the United States on a federal level where we are going to basically allow a foreign military direct access to our technology. And everyone claims this part, bro. They're like, well, we get to access their technology. Dude, look at what they've done. They spy on everyone. They backdoor everything. They have been lobbying Apple for like over a decade to get backdoor access to Apple, which I think they may have gotten now. I don't know. I haven't followed back up on that. I read an article a couple months ago that may be actually in discussion, where Unit 8200 has been lobbying against Apple to get backdoor access.
Well, aren't they the ones that can break into your Apple iPhone? Like the FBI/CIA say they can't, but like they're the ones that can. Isn't there
the ones that they
do a specific company that does that?
I forget the name of it, but yeah, it's like they have to like take the phone apart and they have to do some. There's some stuff they have to do. I'm not going to be proclaimed to have like any like knowledge, but like from what I understood, and it's been a while since I read on it, it's like, yeah, they can like physically alter the phone to be able to access what they want to access, but it's not like they can go in through, the interwebs or through a Wi-Fi signal or a cellular signal and backdoor. Right. Like they have to physically hold the device. And it could be like the pagers. It could be devices that they are currently holding post-manufacture that then get shipped out to people. Like, we know there's a precedent where for decades or over a decade, they had this operation where they were essentially like getting access to these pagers from the manufacturer, manipulating them and then distributing them. So they obviously set up like, shell companies, ghost companies, the typical CIA ABC corps.
Well, that's
And
a systemic issue. They've been like LACM, LAKAM, or EM maybe. That's Israel's defense program. They literally set up shell companies and buy technology from other countries that they ordinarily would not be able to have access to. I mean, they've been doing it. It's like they are. Nixon's the one who said it. There's a lot of spies over there. I'll paraphrase. There's a lot of spies over there. They're good at it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the spies are, again, like we're keeping it real, right? Like we spy on them, they spy on us, everyone spies on everyone, right? But typically,
well, actually, John Kirinkow, or I'm pronouncing his last name.
Kiriakou, yeah, John Kiriakou.
Yeah, he said that they were told very, very blatantly that they are not to spy on Israel. Now, and I don't know, of course, they probably do. But I'm just saying, that's if you're telling your regular everyday CIA operative that he is not to spy on Israel, what does that mean? They spy on us.
I don't know, man. It goes back into the late 1800s. Darby to Schofield to this creation and perpetuation of like I'm not trying to hate on the Bible Belt, but like Baptist churches, evangelical churches, Pentecost churches, all these churches were then, in my opinion, were co-opted in order to basically replace the theology we all know with this new worldly kingdom theology, right? And
well, you should look at what Presbyterians believe, and I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's Presbyterians. They're in the Bible Belt too around here, and you are right. A lot of the Southern Baptists will tell you that if you condemn Israel, you're going straight to hell, brother. I mean, I've had conversations with my neighbors. I mean, I live in the South. That's they have all been brainwashed their whole lives that the Jews or people that's what it is. And I hope this doesn't get banned on YouTube. I'm not being hateful. It's just their ideology, and I don't have to subscribe to it. I don't subscribe to Hinduism just the same as I don't subscribe to Judaism. But they believe that if you put Israel down, you're putting yourself down. But that's also from the Old Testament. And if you read the New Testament, Israel's the church. It's no longer a place or a nation state. Israel's the church.
Right.
And it even says that in the end times, that they have an option to be grafted back on
to the
the
tree.
olive
Yeah.
tree. And if they choose not to believe in Jesus Christ Almighty and believe that he was sent down here to die for their sins, then they will not be grafted back in. That's the same book that they push on everybody else. These evangelicals have been, you just named it. These evangelicals have been propagandized by neocons to believe that they have to support a nation state. That literally, if you read their book, Gittins 57a does not say very colorful. It doesn't say the best things about our Lord and Savior Jesus Christ Almighty. I'll leave it there. Gittins 57a. Everybody should look that one up. This is probably not going to be a great episode for YouTube, brother.
I don't care.
All right.
I'm speaking freely here, and again, to those that may be tuning in here, there's no hate here. We're just talking about what we observe and looking at history.
They say that Jesus Christ is a Jew. Fine. Well, why do you guys say that in your holy book about a fellow Jew?
Exactly.
And like you talk about how it goes back to Schofield. It totally does. This is brainwashing that goes back thousands of years. We didn't really know the true Christian canon because it's been manipulated. And you have all these people that have all these different ideologies, Baptists, Methodists, that really are only kind of set up, I hate to say this, now the majority of them, to support the nation state of Israel. It's just like a propaganda program.
What's also really weird on that topic, like since we're on here, and I like we're going to move into Pinto in a bit. That's kind of what I wanted you to talk about the most. But since we're on this topic, one thing that I've kind of noticed is the way in which like people in America, specifically in the right, in these particular like pockets we're talking about, like the evangelicals and neocons, there's this perpetuation now of like, and don't take this the wrong way, and I hope I'm not saying this wrong, but this Christian nationalism, which I first and foremost believe that Christianity is the dominant practiced religion of America, has been. You know, it's Protestants that came here, as you know, and from from that point forward, right? It's been the dominant form of Anglo-Saxon, WASP, whatever, the initial settlers, colonists. It was a religion. But when we move into post 1776, there's a separation of church and state.
Yes,
And
sir.
now we're seeing this very, it's not even subtle anymore. It's like, it's very blatant, but it's through a subtlety. I hope that makes sense. But it's like they're trying to permeate it in, right? Like Christianity is America, which is like, if we go there, then all we're going to end up doing is breeding a lot of hate, because we need to separate church and state. Our fundamental, unalienable rights don't necessarily extend specific to a religion. They may be foundationally based on Christianity. And don't forget, man, like Jefferson was a deist. You know, a lot of the founders were not Christians. You know, many of them were Masons. So there's that element that we don't need to get into. But in a way, the founders kind of wanted to make sure church was separate from state in order to, create what
I think they all agreed on one thing, and the one thing was a divine creator. Now, Jefferson, yeah, he was a deist, but you should look up his comments on the Talmud.
Oh yeah,
Thomas
we
Jefferson,
we won't bring that up. Everyone go read that.
Everyone should go read that. But I think they all believed in the Masons. That's basically what they all kind of agree on. They all kind of agree on one divine creator. I can kind of get behind that ideology. I think, sure, if you want to boil it all down, there is a divine creator. I would not be speaking, breathing, and talking right now if it wasn't for that divine creator. They can argue who it was, but when you start to, I think, sure, we are a God-fearing nation. I do kind of lean on the side that we're a Christian nation. I think the majority of the founders were Christians. I don't know how. I think they understood also that they had to keep that in their pocket if they wanted to have a sovereign nation state. Because look at what's going on now. You have religion co-opting government into starting wars.
Exactly, like what we're dealing with. So yeah, like I said, I agree. I mean, foundationally, Christianity is in principle part of what America is, from its foundation to today. It's that permeation, that like corruption of that concept, where we're having the, bless or be cursed mentality, if you will.
Ridiculous.
It's insane. It's absolute lunacy. And it's literally we have been pulled into a fanatical holy war, and people don't see it as that. They're looking at it as that Iran's our enemy. Well, how about Saudi Arabia? How about the sons of bitches that had 15 of the hijackers from Saudi Arabia or from Egypt?
Yeah, but I don't really. I don't think any less of Saudi Arabia for doing that. I can find 15 ideologically driven Jews who would want to do the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I can.
Yeah, but dude, but it's deeper than that with Saudi Arabia, bro. I mean, that's where that's where Wahhabism, Salafism, these like extremely radical forms of Islam came from. It ain't from Iran. It's from Saudi Arabia.
And you know why we didn't go into Saudi Arabia?
The oil.
Yeah. Money, power.
It goes back to Sir Lawrence of Arabia, brother.
On the world scale.
Say that again. Sorry.
They're willing to trade with us on the world scale.
Yeah, but that's being hampered as we speak.
Right.
I mean, if Iran's goal here is total eradication of our bases, do you think now that the security guarantee that the U.S. has provided to the GCC countries, if we have no means to protect anymore because we have no airfields anymore, they've all the airstrips have been blown away, The hangars have been blown away. Do you think they're going to let us rebuild?
I don't think that we should be anywhere near that fucking desert, brother.
100%. I don't think we need to be there either.
I think JFK had the right idea. The Middle East needs tractors, not bombs.
Totally.
You win more. Hey, and it's a big saying in the South. You catch more flies with honey than you do with vinegar.
Facts. Absolutely. Yeah, I mean, like, it would just be a really beautiful thing if, like, we can engage in, you know, diplomacy and, you know, in commerce and have competition and be friends to the world. And, you know, yeah, I mean, I think our immigration policies need to be real fucking stringent. Like, it isn't, you can't just go willy-nilly to Switzerland. You know, you got to have some money. You got to bring value, you know, and that's what it used to be here. Is you had to bring value. You had to, and I hate saying this word, but it's true. You have to assimilate. Like when I go to Mexico City, I vacation there, you know, like my wife and me love going there. When I go there, I speak broken ass Spanish. I show nothing but respect to the people that are hosting me in their country. And we've lost that. That's a lot to do with the left. With like the, you know, after COVID, especially.
Well, they want you to demonize these Mexicans, and I'm just not going to do it.
No,
I
they're
totally
good people,
think
bro.
that if I was a Mexican and lived in fucking Tijuana, Mexico, and I knew I could make more money to feed my family in America, guess where the hell I'd be going? And
exactly.
I do think that they need more stringent policies on the border, but you look at what Trump's doing. He tells you, yeah, we're going to deport them all. And then now they're working on a bill to give amnesty to all farm workers. Like, I've literally done hard manual labor my whole entire life. I literally compete with these illegal immigrants. And some days it does piss me off. Don't get me wrong. When I'm watching a crew full of Mexicans that I pretty much know are most likely illegals. They don't speak a lick of English. I mean, I have to be able to understand Spanish to do my job because the market is so saturated with illegal immigrants. If they truly wanted to crack down on it, dude, I think the economy would fall apart. I don't think you could, as much as they want to tell you, yeah, let's kick all the illegals
Trump said it.
I really think the economy would fall apart. I think
Trump said it himself.
Got sat down and explained that, you know, yeah, kick them all out, and then nobody's going to pick our food.
Yeah, but dude, Trump said it himself. He admitted that after the whole the Minneapolis stuff, and you know the ramping down on the raids, which still are ongoing, but not at that level. After the Alex Preddy execution, a lot of the Republican people that I associate with hate me for saying this, and I've caught flack, but he was executed, dude. He took a slug in the back of the head. I mean,
who would shit on you for that? I'll stand there.
A lot of
people.
I'll die on
a lot of people. If you recall, they fucking killed him in cold blood.
100%. There's very clear video that they disarmed him too before they shot him. So
they show that video where he kicked a taillight out like it's going to make me hate the guy. I mean, dude. I mean, so what?
You got arresting them. Why didn't they arrest them?
What about the guys at January 6th? You know, I mean, am I supposed to? Yeah, that woman got shot and killed. I mean, they threw a big hoopla over that. She's breaking into the Capitol building.
Dude, because they're hypocrites. That's one thing that I've kind of just gotten, like, personally, I've gotten sick of X, man. I mean, I have good mutuals on there, but like in the past week or so, I've been listening to some discussions, let's just say, and it's like people are like, the evidence is becoming more clear of all these things that we kind of discussed are becoming more, apparent that they're not in the betterment or benefit of the country or our people. And they're just tripling, quadrupling down. It's like such Jim Jonesian cultism, dude. Like they're just.
It's only going to get worse, dude, because they know. I mean, once the boomers go, so does the support for Israel.
You know what, man? I wish them well. Like I've said it from the beginning. Let them fight their own fucking war. And if they want to go and blow up Iran and Iran blows, that's on them. They are not our greatest ally. I'm sorry. I'm going to say it. They are not our greatest. This is not what friends do. You don't.
Do your friends send
pull
you
America
bombs?
Into a war and then have Marco Rubio admit and say, well, we knew Israel was going to hit. So out of defense of our bases, we had to strike first so we can mitigate as much damage as we can to our own bases.
Hey, if you and me went to the bar and you know that, hey, when we go out with Republicans, he likes to get drunk and hammered and fight everybody, you'd stop going out to the bar with me.
Absolutely.
That's what Israel is. He's your drunk buddy that wants to fight everybody at the fucking bar.
Yep.
And drags
bigger
you
guys
into
too. He'll go up to a 7 foot dude and kick him in the shin and say, "Let's go."
He wants you to fight Russia. He's trying to talk you into fighting Russia.
Dude, that's a whole other front that's exploding right now. That's insane.
It's
like we are on the cusp of something so freaking scary to me. I mean, like,
I think too many people have woken up, brother, and they have to turn on the Goyim meat slaughter machine. The grinder is turning on. They're either going to send us to war or they're going to kill us all with a pandemic.
I think actually it's going to be simpler than that. I think
what's happening.
So with this war that's ongoing, a lot of people are focused on the oil. I mean, we have petrochemicals, we get our plastics, all that stuff from oil. It's bad. And energy, right? Energy is what makes everything, work. But one major thing that people forget about is outside of energy, you need food. And if the fertilizer isn't getting to some of these smaller, more destitute, impoverished countries that are grossly impacted by these blockades or these, these shutdowns of the Strait of Hormuz. And now I believe the Red Sea, I believe the Bab el-Mandeb on the Yemen side is essentially shut down, which is really bad. That means all they have is like the Suez Canal, right?
Famine.
So like
you'll have widespread famine. People will
exactly.
starve to
And
death.
so what's the cheapest way to take everyone out? Don't let them cannibalize. Literally, I hate to say it, but like let them starve and cannibalize each other. Society would break down in a week or two completely. Everything you think about how human etiquette is out the door. You would live in a movie not like in the setting of like a nuclear holocaust like The Road, although that's possible, but the concept of The Road where there's scavengers and people that are marauders, and I mean, like, that is a very real scenario that people are not paying attention to. Like here in America, we're not as bad. By the grace of God, we're in a better position. But hey, like Trump said, nothing's impacted us, right? Then why did he just do a $500 million emergency order on fertilizer? Why did he do that?
Well, would they tell you if we were staring down the barrel of famine? No.
No, of course not.
Do you tell your employees you're about to lay them off? Fuck no, I need them to the last day.
It's true.
Dude, this is Thomas Massey told everybody on Twitter 6 months to a year ago to start a fucking garden.
Yep.
Why is your congressman telling you to start a garden? Because you're about to be out of food, guys. Tucker Carlson, he had a podcast a couple days ago with an energy guy that's all this guy does. He's an energy nerd. He says that we're looking at a 30% decrease in the economy worldwide.
Oh, I saw that one when the guy that talked about the correlation of energy being directly tied to GDP.
Dude, we're fucked.
Yeah.
Even if this got fixed tomorrow, this is going to reverberate through, just like you said, you have to think about all these small third world countries that will be heavily impacted.
Yeah.
Even if it's not us, people are going to die. People will starve because of this war.
But you're a Christian, right? You're like, as a Christian, you're not supposed to care about human life, right?
What?
That's sarcasm. Sarcasm.
Dude, it's wild, isn't it? And then I think Trump has cosplayed being a Christian his whole entire presidency. He's not a Christian.
I think so too. I think he's a piece of shit scumbag, and I'm going to say that. I don't care. I voted for that man in 2016. Couldn't vote in 2020 because I was moving and I was not about to do mail-in ballot. Voted in 2024, and I had the blinders on, man. I was so scared for our country. I was like, oh my gosh, we're about to go into free fall, into total like communist takeover. I bought into that, right? And at the time, to be honest with you, and I've told you this, like I was on Israel's side directly after October 7th. This is new for me. Like that's why I'm so energized about it, because the deception that I've been under is insane. Like when I started seeing them blowing up like apartment buildings and hospitals and saying, oh, there's a tunnel here. Are you fucking kidding me? You're killing women and children, dude.
Right.
Like I'm done at that point. Like, I don't care if we've done it. Our government's done it. We just blew up little girls, triple tap to school. dude. And we hit a freaking hospital in Iran. I believe it was a cancer center. Like, what the fuck are we doing?
The whole pretext of going into Iraq, and this goes back into Project Pinto.
Yeah,
Benjamin Netanyahu told Congress that you have to invade Iraq. If you don't invade Iraq, they're going to get nukes. This is the story of Iraq with Iran all over again. Yeah. We invaded Iraq, killed 100,000 people, lost thousands of our own soldiers, and what did we get out of it? We found no nukes, no WMDs, and the guy who told Congress at the time, Benjamin Netanyahu, hey, you have to go to Iraq. They have nukes. Congress did not know, from the research I've done, did not know that he was involved in Project Pinto. You have a man who was literally involved in stealing nuclear triggers from the United States, telling us in our Congress to invade a foreign country where hundreds of thousands of people died, when he himself was involved in the same fucking thing. He was stealing nuclear weapon materials from the United States. It's if they still sign, if that's why I say if they're putting their name on this NDAA right now, it's fucking treason. They all know it. Totally. They're not. They expect us to be too dumb to say anything. I'm tired of that. If my voice doesn't work, then eventually something else is going to have to happen.
I know. God forbid, man. I pray against that because that's what they want.
That's what they want.
They want that. I don't want to say it, but you know, they want conflagration, right?
Yep.
Internally to domestically. But here's the thing that I, you know, like, man, this crap has just had me charged up, dude. I mean, I'm so pissed off. Like, for example, everyone's like, 7 Republicans voted against the NDAA moving to the Senate. No, they really didn't, because they voted yes on the rules vote. They knew it was safe to say no.
Exactly. Taylor Green, she explained that.
Yeah, she just said that. The only Republican on the rules vote that said no was Thomas Massey, who is the #1 person that they just got him out, $20-30 million to make him lose his seat, you know, for this garbage Ed Galrain. You know, it's just disgusting, dude. And people cheer this crap on. And it's not like center right and right wing, libertarian, Republican, independent is like, I'm pro-Democrat all of a sudden. I'm just going from the Yankees to the Mets. It ain't that. People just aren't going to vote.
Just so you vote for the blue flavor of Zionism next round.
But here's the thing. This is what I predict will happen. Like, for me personally, I'll go on record and say I will vote local, county, and state. I'm not going to vote on a federal election.
Yeah.
I'm just going to say, I'm going to be honest. I'm not. F these people. We have more of an ability to influence our local to state elections versus this federal mafia crap that we deal with. But I think a lot of the people forget in 24, there was Trump's campaign was pretty brilliant. Let's be real. The presidential campaign was pretty brilliant. The Butler
and but hold on. I think people forget this. Buckley Carlson has only made one post about this. The whole reason I fell in love with the speeches Donald Trump did, it's not because Donald Trump wrote them. Buckley fucking Carlson wrote his speeches, not Donald Trump. The brilliance of the ideologies that Trump spoke about and made promises about, they were not Trump's. He's a charlatan. Buckley Carlson wrote his speeches, and he's one of the most vocal people right now on X about how Trump is a fucking charlatan. He sold us all out, brother. We all got lied to, and I don't blame anybody for wanting to believe that America could be fixed, because that's what Trump was telling people.
Yeah, but here, this is what I was saying was, it was genius in the sense that campaign in 24 brought independents in. It brought moderate Democrats that are disenfranchised from how psychotic, the left has become. Like, you still have like some Zell Miller type, Democrats that still exist, right? Like Zell Miller from Georgia. He was, in my opinion, wasn't the worst Democrat. Kucinich isn't a terrible Democrat. Those types of, ideologically oriented Democrats, they even got pulled into the quote unquote big tent coalition. Independents, The libertarians were basically courted and swayed. The tech bros, the crypto bros, the Republicans, MAGA, and then under it all was the neocons actually controlling everything. It's like it bothers me so much.
Perfectly. You just said it perfectly. That's it. It's all just one big psyop, but who's really controlling it? About a country smaller than New Jersey, and you saw who bought the guy's seat, who voted no, Miriam Adelson.
Yep. It's absolutely crazy to me, man. Let's man, I love it, man. I love what we're talking about. I get real passionate about it because I'm first generation born American. I love this country. It's all I know. I was raised by parents that taught me to be American first. A lot of the quote unquote immigrants, even in like the Persian community in America, we call them fobs. We call them fresh off the boat because even though they were born here, their parents are very homeland, if you are motherland oriented. And that's a problem, like you need to have respect for the country that adopts you. And so I have my opinion,
I think yes and no on that because I'm Italian. I mean, hell, I go to where my great grandparents are from up north, and there's Italian flags everywhere. I think it's a beautiful thing. But also, how many Italians fought in World War II? Right. My great grandfather was on one of the best destroyers ever. Were so good that they could not take a break. We don't have that now.
Like one of the greatest war heroes of our that he honorably died was Barcelona.
Right.
Italian. I'm talking about. Have you ever watched? I mean, you've watched Band of Brothers, right? The old band. Dude, I mean, yeah, but Italians, Irish, they've been here. They've been here for a long time. They have a claim to the country.
What I'm getting at is I think it's totally cool to love your culture, but I think you're right. You should assimilate, but like, I don't think less of my Italian family because they fly down Italian flag on their boat when they're out there cruising around.
What I mean by that is it's one thing to like, I'm proud of the history of the Persian people. I am, I'm fucking Persian, I'm ethnically Persian. And I've read the histories and I think it's really cool. Like, dude, they're a continuous, civilization for over 3,000 years. They were completely conquered by the Mongols, lost, I think, arguably 80 to 85% of the population was killed by the Mongols. And over the course of 50 years, they assimilated the Mongols to accept their culture and made them part of Persia. A conquered people assimilated another people that conquered them.
Culture's beautiful. I think culture's beautiful.
Yeah,
I don't think the Iranians should erase their culture when they come here, but they should totally. If you came to America, your devotion should be to America only.
That's my point. My point. It's not like you don't go and say, "Well, I'm Iranian." Or I'm Persian. Like I get asked, like, "Where are you from?" I'm from New York. I was born in New York. No, but where are you really from? Oh, I get what you're asking me. I'm Persian.
Why is my skin brown?
Huh?
They're asking you, why is my skin brown?
Dude, I'm gold. Dude, I'm a beautiful olive complexion, brother. I mean,
you kind of look Italian.
I get that all the time. Anyway, but my point is like, you don't come here and say, I'm Somalian. You come here, and if you want to be here, you say, I'm an American with a Somalian heritage. There's a difference in how, but the problem is the people that are coming here now, almost like it's designed because we saw what happened in Europe. Look what's happening in Europe, in the Western Europe. I mean, like we're the final domino to fall. They have to basically muddy the waters. They bring economic dependent migrants in that are going to vote for social policies. They're going to. What's that?
I mean, hey, I don't know about you where you're from, but the local gas stations where I'm at, you can't get a fucking decent chili cheese dog anymore because the guy who owns the fucking the gas station, hell, he's never made a chili cheese dog. And when I was 5 or 6 years old, driving around with my dad, going wherever, we could stop at any fucking gas station around here and get a decent meal. You can't anymore, and I hate to say it. I wish they would cook their own food. I really do, because I love Indian food. But the majority of the people who own the gas stations around here are not American. They're Indians. Where did that, what happened there? Is there some kind of sweet deal where all the Patels got fucking gas stations? How does that work?
I don't know. That's something we should do an episode on.
We totally should. That shit bothers the fuck out of me. I can't get a
It's
decent chili
insane.
cheese
It's
dog
absolutely
nowhere.
crazy. And it's always like, like a Valero or like a Shell station or something. But like,
Dude,
I personally, I
BPs and
only go to
fucking
QT. I don't know
right.
if everyone in the States have QT's Quick Trip, but I'm so happy past 2 years they brought QT here to Colorado. In Georgia, they're everywhere. In Texas, you have QT as well. But man, they do the dogs. They have those taquitos. They got food there. I mean, yeah, it's probably processed trash, but they try to like at least give that to you. But then yeah, you go to like the little mom and pop franchise Valero, and there ain't nothing there but vapes, incense sticks, boner pills, and lotto tickets.
I used to be able to get a pulled pork sandwich at the fucking dump where I live, and it was
Great.
a little old grandma that made. That's all she did. She made pork all fucking week. What
Damn.
happened to that? It's all gone, bro. And why?
Know.
Because the economy sucks fucking donkey dick.
Man, like that's the thing too. Is like when I voted in 24. I was really scared for the economy. So like in 16, like, I was doing okay. I had a decent job. I was still in the field. I was in telecom, still working the field, what have you. But then I got that, 16 happens. Then this boom starts, this optimism, right? There's like economic optimism. People are making investments. People are taking risks. The economy was growing. People were spending, right? Because they had confidence, right? Fast forward to 24. That's what I was hoping for. I was like, oh, we're going to get another bump. We're going to get a resurgence. Like I'm going to be able to like make some extra money. I'm going to be able to pay some debt down. I had this optimism.
Right.
But to
Trump
be honest,
did decent his first term, I think.
He did. Economically, I feel like some people argue he didn't. Hey, I was a major benefactor of Trump's first term.
And that might not have been all of Trump's policies because now look, I mean, I hate to say it, these tariffs have fucked over the economy. I mean,
we got to pay him back.
Who's going to pay him back? We're
paying for him.
Yep.
It's insane. It's absolutely crazy. And then, I'm seeing layoffs everywhere. In my industry, we have, AI is a real scary thing. We're starting to see some teams getting replaced. We're seeing entire swaths of divisions being replaced with contractors. Like literally, I won't say where, but there's say like this customer support level, like level 1 and level 2, like entry level, like your job from high school, like your hourly job, and then your first salary position, right? At the, towards the bottom of the ladder. All those people are gone. They're off. Basically, like you're converting to a contractor, you take a severance.
Well,
and
the industry I work in, it's the same deal. It's our money's getting cut. They're literally laying people off. We had 29 positions get cut just like 6 months ago, and these are positions that should be there, that need to be there, that just got cut. These are positions that I don't want to tell everybody what I do, but it matters.
Yeah,
and they got cut because of Trump's policies, and I think it's a shame.
I don't think people realize how bad we're gonna get it, man. And let's bring it back so we can close out with Project Pinto. Do you want to go into that a little bit more?
Yeah, sure. Project Pinto. Brief synopsis. There's this. Israel has this. It's basically like their CIA's procurement program called Lakem. It's supposedly closed now. It's not really closed. They probably just named it something else, but they used Hollywood businessmen and Hollywood tycooners like Arnon Milchan, who made famous movies like the movie JFK, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Fight Club, shit like that, like big name movie stuff. They used him and this guy Richard Smith in America. Israel paid. This is directly from Israel. They paid for this company, a shell company, which is all fake. They started a shell company and then used Richard Smith to buy 800 Crytons, which there's no real reason why your everyday citizen would buy Crytons, their main purpose are to set off nukes. It's like a high precision laser, essentially. It's like a diode on steroids. They're literally only used to set off nukes. Well, long story short, FBI caught wind of it. Go figure, the only people that were prosecuted and saw time was Richard Smith, which was the American side. Benjamin Netanyahu and Arnon Milchan saw no time. The FBI, to FBI's credit, they did try and go after Israel a little bit. They asked Israel's Department of Defense or whatever it is over there to get Arnon Milchan for a written statement. They were ignored. They never got it. While that was happening, Benjamin Netanyahu himself, who was involved in the operation, was in John Kerry's office, Senator John Kerry, telling him to extend Arnon Milchan's visa, because that was the bargaining chip that the FBI and our government was using. They were essentially saying, well, this could go really bad if we tell the American public that you guys were stealing nuclear weapons materials from us. They were kind of using it as a bargaining chip. Well, they didn't go after Benjamin Netanyahu or Arnon Milchan. It was swept under the rug, and now you have a guy who was literally leading Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, now dictating, basically, it's going to be our military. He helped draft the NDAA. So you have a guy who helped steal nuclear materials from the United States is now drafting our NDAA, and our Congress is signing off on it. It's just it's a huge clusterfuck, and I don't know that me screaming about Project Pinto on X is really going to help, but I'm trying to get the word out, brother.
I know you are, man. And I feel bad for the people in Israel that are against this crap. It's like everyone in the world is dealing with just tyrannical governments.
There's people my age. I am 27 years old in Israel right now that have fought and pleaded. They have not joined the IDF because they know what they're doing is wrong, and that's why
a third, right? A third of the youth are denying service, right?
I will not condemn everyone in Israel. They're not. Their government is just as shitty as ours, and I hate that. Dude, there's rich. It's really a classist issue if you want to break it down.
It really is.
You or I are never going to work in a market where we dictate billions. These people do. And when you dictate billions of dollars, you start to think of people as peons.
Yeah. You get detached from your humanity.
I don't care where you have power. Power corrupts absolutely wherever you're at.
Amen. Yeah. Man, I think that's a pretty good spot to bring it home. What do you think?
I think it's pretty good. Everybody should research Project Pinto. Just Google it, man. Look it up on Grok. Go to my page. Look it up.
Yeah. Republicus here has a lot on it. Definitely peruse his profile. Search Project Pinto there. Lots of Grok pulls. Lots of research he's done. And some pretty damn funny replies. I'm not going to lie. Some of your replies to some people are pretty entertaining in and of themselves. But I appreciate your time today, brother. What's that?
Hey, anytime.
God bless, man. Thank you so much. Hey, everybody, make sure you go and follow at OpentheJKFfiles. It's right there on screen. I'll have it down in the comments below. Please do subscribe, share, comment, like, and a follow for me on X at MNBFYpod will be super helpful. So with that, hope y'all enjoy this one. Brother, thank you very much, and talk to you soon.
Thanks, bud.
All right, y'all. Bye.